You're not lazy, but I know it feels like something is wrong. You wake up tired, not just physically, mentally. You start things, but don't finish them. You plan, but somehow never move. And slowly, quietly, a dangerous thought appears. What's wrong with me? You look around and see others pushing harder, grinding more, staying disciplined. So you try to force yourself to keep up. You pressure yourself. You promise, tomorrow I'll be better. But tomorrow comes, and the same resistance is still there. Here's what nobody ever tells you. This isn't laziness, and it's not a lack of discipline either. It's something much deeper. Because let me ask you this honestly. Have you noticed how you're not lazy about everything? There are moments, certain topics, certain ideas, certain conversations where your energy suddenly wakes up. You can focus, you can stay engaged, you can go for hours without forcing yourself. So if laziness were the problem, why does it disappear sometimes? That's the question most people never stop to ask. What if the real problem isn't that you lack motivation, but that you're aiming your energy in the wrong direction? And what if, once you understand this, motivation stops being something you chase and starts becoming something that naturally follows you? Stay with me, because what you're about to understand may completely change the way you see yourself, and it might be the first moment you finally stop blaming yourself for feeling stuck. There's a lie most of us grew up believing. It sounds simple, it sounds logical, and it sounds like truth. The lie is this: motivation comes from willpower. And if you don't have motivation, something is wrong with you. So the equation becomes brutal. If you're motivated, you're disciplined. If you're not, you must be lazy. And once that belief settles in, it shapes everything. You try harder, you push yourself, you force routines that don't fit. And when it doesn't work, you don't question the system, you question yourself. You say things like, I'm just not disciplined enough. Oh, no, others can do this. Why can't I? I just need to try harder. So you try again and again and again until effort turns into exhaustion and self-improvement turns into self-judgment. But let me ask you something important. Have you noticed something strange? You're not lazy about everything. You might procrastinate at work, but spend hours learning something you care about. You might avoid your goals, but show up fully when someone you love needs you. You might struggle with discipline in one area and have effortless focus in another. That contradiction matters. Because if laziness were your problem, it would affect everything equally. But it doesn't, which leads to a much more uncomfortable and much more honest question. Why do some things drain you completely, while others light you up without effort? Why does energy disappear in one direction and naturally flow in another? That's not a willpower issue, that's a meaning issue. And once you see that clearly, the entire conversation about motivation changes, because the real question isn't, how do I force myself to try harder? It's something else entirely, and we're about to uncover it. Most people misunderstand burnout. They think burnout means you work too hard, that you push too much, that you didn't rest enough. But burnout isn't just exhaustion. Burnout is meaning depletion. You can sleep 8 hours and still wake up drained. You can take time off and still feel empty. You can rest your bodies and feel nothing come back, because the problem was never energy. The problem was why you were spending it. Here's the truth most people never hear. When effort has no meaning, the body rebels. It's not trying to punish you, it's trying to protect you. Your nervous system isn't broken, your motivation isn't defective. It's responding intelligently to a life that feels misaligned. This is not weakness, this is awareness trying to get your attention. Burnout is the signal that says this direction is costing you more than it's giving back. And when that signal is ignored for too long, the body does the only thing it can do. It slows you down, not because you're lazy, but because continuing would be unsustainable. So here's the real question most people never ask. If rest doesn't restore your energy, what brings energy back when motivation is gone? What reconnects you to effort without force? The answer doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from something much quieter and much older. And once you see it, burnout stops being your enemy and starts becoming a guide. There's a different way of looking at motivation, a quieter one. In Japan, they don't usually ask, what motivates you. They don't chase motivation directly. They ask something deeper, something more personal, something closer to identity than effort. They ask questions like, what makes life worth waking up for? What gives your days a quiet sense of meaning? What kind of work doesn't feel like a constant fight? Because when effort is connected to something personal, it stops feeling heavy. It stops needing force. Imagine having a reason so internal, so aligned with who you are, that showing up no longer feels like discipline. It just feels natural. That's what most people are missing. Not motivation, not habits, not productivity systems, but a personal reason that makes effort make sense. And once you reconnect with that, discipline becomes something you use, not something you fight. But before we give this idea a name, before we turn it into a concept, there's one more thing you need to understand. Because motivation doesn't come from where most people think it does. And if you don't see that clearly, you'll keep trying to fix the wrong thing. So let's take a step back and look at where motivation actually comes from and why it disappears in the first place. Motivation doesn't disappear randomly. There's a biological reason it fades, and it has nothing to do with character. Your brain is not designed to chase effort. It's designed to chase meaning. When the brain detects meaning, it releases dopamine. Not the cheap, short-term kind, but the kind that fuels focus, persistence, and direction. That's why you can work for hours on something that matters to you to go and feel drained after 20 minutes of something that doesn't. Here's the truth most people never hear. The brain doesn't resist effort. It resists meaningless effort. When effort feels disconnected from purpose, your nervous system pushes back. You feel resistance. You feel procrastination. You feel tired before you even begin. And when people don't understand this, they do the worst possible thing. They force habits. They try to discipline themselves into caring. They push routines without understanding why they feel heavy. That's why so many habit systems fail. Not because habits don't work, but because habits without meaning collapse under pressure. Your brain is asking a simple question before every action. Why does this matter to me? If it can't find an answer, motivation slowly dies. So the real problem isn't that you lack drive. It's that your effort is disconnected from meaning. And this leads to the most important question of all. How do you create meaning? Without quitting your job, without abandoning your life, without burning everything down just to start over. That answer exists, and it's far more practical than you think. There's a name for what we've been circling around. It's called Ikigai. In Japanese, Ikigai means a reason for being, a reason to wake up, a reason effort makes sense. Ikigai isn't motivation, it's alignment. And it lives at the intersection of 4 simple questions. Not complicated, not mystical, just honest. The first question is, what do you love? Not what looks impressive, not what you were told to love, but the things that quietly pull you in, the activities where time disappears, the topics you return to even when no one is watching. The second question, what are you good at? Not what you wish you were good at. Not what others expect from you, but the skills that feel natural to you. The problems people often come to you with. The things you learn faster than most. The third question, what does the world need? Not the whole world, just your world. The people you serve. The problems around you, the gaps you notice that others ignore. And finally, what can you be paid for? Because meaning doesn't have to be separate from life. It doesn't have to live only in hobbies. Ikigai respects reality. Now here's the part most people miss. Most people live inside only 1 or 2 of these circles. They do what they're good at, but don't love it. Or they love something, but don't know how it connects to the world. Or they chase money without meaning. That's where tension is born. That's where burnout grows. Ikigai doesn't ask you to change everything overnight. It asks something much smaller, something safer, something more powerful. Because the real shift doesn't happen when you find Ikigai all at once. It happens when you start moving just a little toward the intersection. And that's exactly where we're going next. Now take a breath for a moment, because here's something you need to hear clearly. You don't need to find your Ikigai today. You don't need a dramatic breakthrough. You don't need to quit your job. You don't need to reinvent your entire life. That pressure, the idea that everything must change at once, is what keeps people stuck. Ikigai doesn't work like that. Ikigai begins with alignment, not upheaval. Instead of asking, how do I change my whole life? Ask something much simpler. How can I move 10 minutes a day toward what feels more meaningful? Just 10 minutes. 10 minutes where your energy feels slightly lighter. 10 minutes where effort doesn't feel forced. 10 minutes where you're leaning, even gently, toward the intersection we talked about. That's enough to start, because here's the truth that removes all shame. You are not broken, you are misaligned. And misalignment isn't a flaw, it's a signal that your life wants to be adjusted, not destroyed. When you honor that signal with small, intentional steps, something changes quietly. Resistance softens, motivation returns, effort starts to feel human again. And once that happens, you don't need to be pushed anymore, you begin to move naturally. This is how real change starts. Not with pressure, but with permission. And in the next video, I'll show you exactly how to build Ikigai, step by step, in a way that fits your real life, your real responsibilities, and your real limits. No overwhelm, no fantasy, just a path forward. Before we end, let me leave you with one important reminder. Lazy people don't ask these questions. They don't sit with discomfort. They don't reflect. They don't search for meaning. The fact that you're here, just listening, questioning, trying to understand, already tells a different story. So today, don't push yourself harder. Don't add more pressure. Don't punish yourself for feeling stuck. Aim yourself better. Choose direction over force, alignment over guilt, meaning over endless effort. And if you're willing, take one quiet moment after this video and ask yourself something honestly. Which part of my life feels most misaligned right now? You don't need to fix it yet. Just notice it. That awareness alone is the first step forward. If this message resonated with you, share your answer in the comments. You might be surprised how many others are standing in the same place, quietly searching for direction. And if you're ready to continue this journey, welcome to Kaizen Mind Mastery, where growth doesn't begin with pressure, it begins with meaning.